Welcome to the That's Good Sports Power Ranking episode, the only NFL Power Ranking episode where it's bad luck to be given the number one spot. After week 1, I give it to the Saints. After week 2, I give it to the Panthers. After week 3, to the Raiders. Who do I unintentionally curse today with the number 1 rank of power? I'm the king of the curse. I'm coming for your purse. I'll say you're the best, so you'll be the worst. Your team goes limp, cause I'm the NFL's Fred Durst. NFL Week 5 Power Rankings. Let's do it. I'm the all-seeing head, the NFL talking head, looking into the future to curse your team. That's good sports. Please, if you don't want your team cursed, subscribe. It's the only way to guarantee it won't happen. Today's episode is sponsored by HelloFresh, so go to HelloFresh.com and use my code That'sGoodSports14 to get 14 free meals plus shipping. Now that football season is underway, I am busier than ever, which is why I rely on HelloFresh and their quick 20-minute meal option so my routine is never altered. I've got 70-plus hour work weeks right now, plus a 1-year-old running around, so HelloFresh protects my blind side by saving me time and money, allowing me to keep my routine and my wife and I fed. One reason I love HelloFresh is because it gives me new ideas for meals I've made many times before. We did burgers this week, and HelloFresh's special sauce house burger was a huge hit. Just don't confuse the mini vinegar bottles for shooters. Yee. And that was just one of 50 menu options. I get the family size, so I have leftovers, saving me even more time and more money. All of their 5-star recipes are printed out, easy to read and follow, and everything is pre-portioned, so you're not wasting food. Again, go to HelloFresh.com, use my code That'sGoodSports14 to get 14 free meals across 5 boxes, plus free shipping. Alright, instead of the Power Bottom 3 this week, I'm doing the Power Bottom 1, which goes to the worst thing about the NFL right now, officiating. Thank you, Joey Bosa, for having the courage to say this.
I mean, refs are blind. Simple. I'm sorry, but you're blind. Like, open your eyes and do your job. It's so bad. It's unbelievable. I mean, look at the play. Gotta do a better job, because it's been years of terrible missed calls left and right. It's really pathetic, honestly, but
Joey is right, though. And I think every team has been the victim of at least one horrendous call this season. I can't keep track, so please let me know in the comments which one hurt you the most. Show me on this doll where the blind zebra touched you. Okay, Bengals, I'm keeping you at the imaginary number 11. You struggled against the Jags in primetime, got the win. You got the win, you're 3-1, and I like the direction your team is heading. You didn't have Jesse Bates on defense, so again, I'm watching you. Coming in at number 10, the Cleveland Browns. It was not a pretty win for the Browns on Sunday, beating an underrated team, the Vikings, 14-7. But the thing that's really caught my eye is that after a tough start to the season, the Browns' defense is finally hitting its stride, and in the last couple of games, they've just allowed 13 combined points against the Bears and the Vikings. Baker Mayfield was off, especially when throwing to Odell Beckham, but as long as they're getting the production they've gotten out of Chubb and Hunt, they can survive the lows that Baker inevitably hits every season before he skyrockets back into the stratosphere. Number 9, the Chiefs. I am forced once again to include the Kansas City Chiefs in my top 10 after they went on the road to defeat Andy Reid's former team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's the main reason they're back in the top 10. Fucking Tyreek Hill. When they want to get him the ball or the defense doesn't commit all of its resources to stopping him, Hill is basically unstoppable, which he showed on Sunday with 11 catches, 186 yards, and a trio of touchdowns. All of them of the overhand variety. However, I'm still waiting for the Chiefs to figure it out on a little thing called defense. After allowing 31.3 points per game, second worst in the league, and 0 punts from a pretty underwhelming Eagles offense. Neither team punting in this game is a microcosm of the Chiefs' season through 4 games. I hope Buffalo embarrasses you, Kansas City. Number 8, the LA Rams. Just about everyone expected the Rams to take care of business against Arizona, which Sean McVay has always done in 2 years against Cliff Kingsbury. But it turned out the Cardinals are more for real than we thought. No, really. I don't know how much to read into this loss from the Rams' perspective other than that their depth behind Jalen Ramsey might get exposed against the better QBs, and their run defense was unable to stop Chase Edmonds, who averaged 10 yards per carry against the Rams. It was limited carries, but he was very good. Overall, I'm not worried. This game was more of a statement about the Cardinals than it is about the Rams. These are clearly the 2 best teams in the division, and it's going to be a hot race to the finish. Number 7, I've got the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens showed something on Sunday. When defenses are stuffing the box with defenders to take away the run, Lamar Jackson can sit back in the pocket and pick teams apart. Even the ones with good secondaries, like the Broncos. That presents a serious dilemma for teams. But I think if you can hold the Ravens to just 23 points, you'll take that every time because you're probably assuming your team has a fucking offense, unlike my Broncos right now. We also learned that their defensive line is infinitely harder to block when Justin Houston and Brandon Williams are back in the lineup. They've also replaced Matt Judon with excellent rookie Odafe Owe, who is wreaking havoc coming off the edge right now. They're like a defensive factory. They never have any problems replacing the guys they let go, and it's a major reason why they're 3-1 right now. Number 6, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good God. I am so glad we never have to hear about Tom Brady returning to Foxborough ever again. Unless that fucker plays 5 more seasons. That was the most painful lead up to a game that included all of 36 total points. Tampa Bay is running into some injury issues though. Not having Gronk on the offense really affected Tom Brady's circadian passing rhythms. Already down Sean Murphy-Bunting, Jamel Dean in the secondary, they lose my favorite Bucs corner, Carlton Davis, on Sunday night. However, they have time to get healthy and right the ship, and honestly, the most important piece of that defense is Vita Vea. He is a game wrecker. He was hurt last season for a big chunk and returned just in time in the playoffs, and he helped ensure no team could ever run on the Bucs. He clogs the line of scrimmage like long hair and bacon grease. The Patriots finished Sunday night allowing -1 rushing yards. That's insane, and it propelled the Bucs to the number 1 defensive spot in terms of rushing yards allowed per game, 47.5. Anything below 50 is entering all-time elite status. Number 5, the Packers. I think we've hit the point in the season where we can comfortably say the 38-3 loss to the Saints was an abortion. An aberration. And proof that chaos and randomness sometimes intervene to create discord in the almighty scheme of the universe. Since that game, Aaron Rodgers has thrown 8 touchdowns to 0 interceptions with a passer rating well over 100. Aaron Jones had some trouble on Sunday, but second-year running back A.J. Dillon, you son of a bitch, stepped up, picking up 97 total yards on 16 touches against the Steelers. Green Bay is doing it with a lot of injuries right now, and my concern is some of those injuries cost them late in the season when it really matters. Number 4, the Dallas Cowboys. Well. The Cowboys appear to have something special cooking in Dallas, and this time it's not meth. Their defense is not perfect, but it is so much better than it was last season that it will be difficult for any team to keep up with their offense. I honestly think if they played the Bucs this week, they win that game now. And by now, you know how good corner Trayvon Diggs has been with his 5 picks through 4 games, but the Cowboys' front 7 has only given up 100 total rushing yards once this season, and that was just against the Panthers. Can't blame them when they're trying to defend White Lightning Sam Darnold himself back there. Dak's been amazing, but right now Dallas is second best in rushing the ball, ahead of the Ravens at 164.5 rushing yards per game. That's the key for their success moving forward, in my opinion. All right, number 3, a big jump into the rankings, the Chargers.
Go Chargers, go!
The Chargers are growing up right in front of our very eyes. You knocked last week's previous number 1 team off my list, cursed ass Raiders, in primetime. And if you beat the Browns and the Ravens in your next 2 games, I've got a very cozy spot for you at number 1, Chargers. Not even Sean Merriman's weather curse could prevent the Chargers from winning.
Next week for the Chargers forecast against the Raiders. See, if you come close here, we're going to whoop a little ass down here in this area. You're going to drive and fly way down here, and the ass whooping going to take place right around here.
Although I think Sean Lights Out Merriman may have literally brought the lightning that delayed the start of that Monday Night Football game. You've also got Chargers personnel members air drumming Phil Collins up in the booth. And LA is mostly holding on to their leads. Everything is turning up Chargers. But there are 2 reasons the Chargers are thriving right now: Justin Herbert and head coach Brandon Staley. Staley is a young, innovative defensive mastermind who has big old balls to go for it on 4th down and dial up fake punts, which would have worked had Hunter Renfrow not blown up the play with the tackle of the week. Hunter Renfrow, number 1 in my heart of power rankings. Justin Herbert has 6 games with 3 touchdowns and 0 picks. That's tied for first in NFL history for any QB through his first 2 seasons. And Herbert only has 19 starts under his belt. The other thing under his belt, a big meaty sausage, which is why Brandon Staley really calls him.
We're fortunate we have a gangster quarterback.
Number 2, Buffalo Bills, my second team. The Billies. You are officially the second best team in my ranks of power, or as I call it, the safest place to be on earth. Quite the opposite of a Bills tailgate. And you're so good right now, Buffalo, people aren't even talking about the weekly death wish your fans showcase before games. Since the Week 1 loss to the Steelers, the Bills have beaten their last 3 opponents by a score of 118-21, which includes 2 shutouts over the Dolphins and the Texans. That said, the Bills are getting a legit test going to Arrowhead next week in a rematch of the AFC Championship game from last year. If the Bills can get that win, they're officially the best team in the AFC, no question about it. I think we need to show some love to the Bills defense, smashing unworthy opponents. This much improved unit, allowing just 148.8 passing yards per game, best in the NFL. 68 rush yards per game, 4th best. 11 points per game, number 1. Oh, and Buffalo is averaging the 5th most rushing yards per game. Looks like their weaknesses are now strengths. And number 1, we've got the Cardiac Cardinals. This brings me no pleasure, Arizona. I hope I don't curse you. But for the integrity of the curse, I have to put the clear best team in the league right now at number 1. Otherwise, I lose all cursing power. Like I said, when I was discussing the Rams earlier, the 17-point win in Los Angeles tells us that the Cardinals are a legit contender in the NFC, and that just about every move they made in the offseason, particularly J.J. Watt, who despite having 0 sacks, does have more QB pressures than Chandler Jones, A.J. Green and Rondale Moore have been the right move, have been moves that made them a team that can win the NFC West, which they currently lead by a game. They are the only undefeated team left in the NFL. They're the only offense scoring more points per game than the Chiefs. Maybe we should call the Cardinals the Chiefs of the desert. Kyler Murray has the 5th best passer rating overall right now and is as lethal as Lamar Jackson in the run game when he chooses. He's impossible to defend. The difference really is Kyler uses his legs to extend plays for deep passes downfield. He's 0.1 yard behind Russell Wilson for yards per attempt. Right now, I just don't know how you beat the Arizona Cardinals. So, I hope I don't curse you. Which teams did I scorn? Seattle? Who the hell are you? Your defense and offense just disappear for entire quarters in games. You should be talked about with all the other high-scoring teams in the league, but I can't put you on this list until I see complete games from you, like you had week 1. Also, Carolina, you went from number 1 to number 5 to off this list. I thought you had one of the best defenses in the NFL, but then Dallas dropped 36 on you. One horrible third quarter in that game cost you everything. Luckily, you get the Eagles next week and could bounce back into the top 10. I am the all-seeing head. Thanks for watching Week 5 Power Rankings. Make sure you check out Tom Grassi's Power Rankings because we will be comparing them Wednesday morning on GPS. Grassi Perna Show live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning.